Oh man, what is going on with Cardano? We're currently sitting $1.82. That's another 3% down now, and another red candlestick forming in the daily charts. What is going on? Do we have further downside risk? Should you be buying the dip? Let's discuss all of that in this video on Cardano. But as always, guys, before we do that, please don't forget to collect your free money. You've got Swissborg offering you up to 100 euros when you deposit 50 euros or equivalent. You've got Coinbase offering you $10 in free Bitcoin when you buy or sell $100 or more in crypto. And you've got $10 waiting for you from BlockFi if you just deposit $100 or equivalent in crypto. So go get your exchanges set up as always. Right, what are we seeing here in the charts? Well, what I can see in the charts is the following. We had this triangle pattern in the purple, which we know was forming for a long time in Cardano, and we know that the market was very confused, right? So we came off our all-time highs here at about $3.16, and we entered this pattern, and it didn't want to break out. If you remember, you can see how congested the candles are in there. It just did not want to break out, and Cardano did not want to know which direction it wanted to head out in. And we're pretty much in the same, right? Technically, we got to break down to the downside, but you can see we're still in this wider triangle on a longer time frame, dating back from this long-term resistance turn support plus this resistance here. So the reality now is, are we going to get a breakout of this larger triangle, A, to the downside, which suggests some more downside risk, or to the upside, which could get us to our all-time highs at $3.16 again? And this is what we need to monitor right now. Now, the worrying thing slightly right now is we are just red candlesticking below on today's chart. If I just show you, if I zoom in a little bit more, let's see if I can bring that to you right there. So you can see here on yesterday's candle, this important support line at $1.80, let's call it $1.87 here, the green line here. You can see in yesterday's candle, which is just there, the bears tried to push it down. It wicked all the way down to $1.76, but then the bulls brought it back up, back to the support line. So we held the support line. Today, you can see the bears are pushing it down again. We're currently at $1.87, so we're currently at $1.82, sorry. So we're about 5 cents off of getting back to our support line. It's really important that we hold this. If we break below this, I can see some more downside risk to not only break us down below the wedge, but we can then get below $1.61, which is absolutely crazy on Cardano, considering how much this is sideways channeled. And this has now become quite a significant downward retracement on Cardano. If I just take from the highs there to where we are at now, this is a 43% retracement in Cardano, which is very significant on such a large cap coin. But we know this can happen, right? We've seen it happen in Bitcoin, we've seen it happen in Ethereum, even up to a 60, 70, 80% retracement. These things can happen. So if you have high conviction in the play, like I do with Cardano, then for you, this is an absolute bargain. I mean, obviously I was lucky enough to get into Cardano very early and build out my position, but even now for me, not financial advice, this is a very juicy opportunity at $1.82. Because I could have swore when we hit $3.16 that we would never even see a $2.50 Cardano, let alone $1.82. Nothing fundamentally has gone wrong. The Alonso fork happened really well. Yes, they're taking a little bit long in terms of some of their dexes, but I can see Cardano having a really strong Q1 2022, and for me, it continues to be a long-term hold. When I see some of these other projects and how they're getting valued, some of these other layer one solutions, which I don't think have the same grounding or fundamental ethos that Cardano does, then I can only see Cardano as a great play for me. Naturally, they will need to push on with DeFi and get some total value locked. I think that's what's spooking the market somewhat on Cardano. But from a technical perspective, we need to now look to the downside of what are our risk points. If I bring out the EMA as well, you'll see on the daily that we have easily flipped bearish right now. You can see that the close of these candles here, the red, flipped us bearish, and now you can see this candle significantly takes us to the downside, and another red candle today so far. Although we still have some time before today's candle closes, still got another 11 or so hours before we close today's candle. So what happens next for Cardano? Well, what I want to do is I want to show you the Fibonacci extension, and if we take this from swing low, bear with me, right there. So you take your swing low. Why does it not want to have it? There we go, all the way to our swing high just there when we hit all-time highs. You can see now that we're fighting at a very important level, and it was the same on Phantom as well. We've lost the 0.618, okay, we've lost the 0.5 level, and now we're fighting at the 0.382 level. So the $1.86 mark is very important for Cardano, which, like I said, ties in perfectly with my support line sitting at $1.87. So this is a very important level. If we lose this level around here, we break to the downside of this triangle, I can expect significant downside on Cardano and even lower buying opportunity prices in terms of $1.61, and even more to the downside. I mean, I don't think it's going to go this far, but just so you're aware, a dollar mark here, $1.06 at the bottom here on the swing low, which is your zero level. So those are the levels we have to be aware about on Cardano. Yes, fundamentally, we need to wait for a DEX. I think Cardano needs to really push on now with DeFi. They need to push on with their DEX. They need to push on with real use cases so people can stop having that excuse of you can't do anything on Cardano, right? The Lonzo Smart fork happened well. We had some buy the rumor, sell the news there as well, but this needs to push on. And when you've got so many other layer one solutions doing really well, people are starting to think, oh, hang on a second, you've got Phantom, you've got Luna, you've got Solana. Why should I put my money into Cardano right now? So naturally, if you have high conviction, then probably now is a very good time to start considering if you want to continue to build your position. Although I wouldn't go super heavy just now. I'd want to see if there is some more further downside before topping up my personal positions on Cardano. Now, just to finalize, am I concerned? Is this something that I'm worried about? No, because you could have said the exact same thing here, right? So if you take from your initial run up we had in Cardano, you can see we ran up all the way from here, all the way up there, right? And then we got a retracement down here. Now, in this red rectangle here, you could have been very worried. You could have said, hang on a second, why is Cardano not moving? What is going on? What is going on? Well, if you bought the dip in this rectangle, instead of FOMOing in up here, you would have benefited from that run up to all-time highs, right? And that's the game. You need to be buying in these areas and then enjoying the run-ups, not buying the run-ups and being fearful on the way down. And that is a psychological aspect of investing. Whether it's stocks, whether it's real estate, whether it's crypto, it's the same philosophy. It's a psychology element that you need to buy when red, you need to buy when retracing, not when it's green. It's easy to buy when it's green because everybody's telling you Cardano's the next slice spread. But to buy now when nobody's talking about it and they're all talking about other coins, you're confused and you've got some money to allocate and you don't know where to put it, that's where it really tests your conviction. It tests your research and it tests if you actually believe in the project that they're building. Do you believe in Charles Hoskinson? Do you believe in proof of stake? Do you believe in their academic approach? Do you believe in some of the partnerships and the ecosystem that they built out? Or do you fundamentally not? And do you actually feel that that portion of my portfolio is better put into another layer one solution, which perhaps you have more conviction in, right? Because the project where you should be allocating your funds is the one where you have high conviction in. Regardless if ADA goes up and your other ones don't, the one which you have high conviction in is the most important one because that's where you're going to hold and not panic sell. So there you go, guys. That's what I'm seeing on Cardano. Just to give you guys a bit of confidence to the upside, let's not forget what that swing low to swing high, which I've just shown you, where we've retraced down now there. Let me just remove the EMA ribbon. Let me tidy this up to the weekly chart. And before we go into this, guys, don't forget to head over to the free public Discord link. Link will be below in the pinned comment. Head over there, fast growing community, discussing some amazing things in the crypto space and sharing some great ideas. So definitely head over into there. Also, don't forget, if you want to support this channel, you can become a member of this channel as well, guys. So there's a join button below. Head over into there, click the join button, and you'll get access to our community only section where you can ask me questions one-on-one on your portfolio, your favorite coins, and we can discuss those there. So what I'm looking at here now is the weekly chart, and I've left the swing low to swing high Fibonacci ratio on there. And what you can see, guys, and it's very important, is we want to, let's move me out the way, it makes it easier. What we want to see here is the following. We're getting a bounce now, like I said, well, we're fighting for this 0.382 mark here. Okay, we spoke about that just earlier. Now, what are our targets to the upside? Well, our target, the golden ratio, actually sits at $4.46, which is not crazy at all. Okay, so if we get a good bounce here, we've had a good run to the upside. If we get a good correction, create all-time highs, we can then do this motion back up to our through our all-time highs and create new highs at $4.45, which is what I'm looking at here from a technical perspective. Obviously, from a fundamental perspective, you guys know I'm super bullish on Cardano. If Bitcoin goes to the targets of what people are saying and doubles from here or triples or quadruples to a 200K Bitcoin, then for me, Cardano is easily at $10 to $15, maybe even $20, depending on where we're at. I love the approach they've taken. And for me, Cardano has a very special part in my portfolio where some of the other coins I have, whether it's an Ethereum, whether it's a Phantom, they're a bit more reckless, they're a bit more fast growing, they're a bit more innovative. But for me, Cardano holds that part of my portfolio, which is almost a hedge against that type of thinking. They're more the slow, rigorous, you know, they have a methodology and they take it slowly, they're peer-reviewed, academic research papers. And for me, my portfolio needs some of that. It can't all be these crazy fast layer one solutions. It needs somebody like Charles Hodgkinson that, oh, if all those guys messed it up, Charles Hodgkinson went a different approach and he did it his way. And that's why I'm backing him and the way he's doing things with ADA. So hope you guys found this video useful. If you like my blend between technicals and fundamental analysis, then as always, guys, please hit up the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next